Diet culture is just dumb. Like, why do we keep hearing about the freaking how to lose weight in 2 weeks ads or some stupid fear-mongering fitness advice that doesn't even work? No matter how hard we try to avoid this, we always see someone's unrealistic what I eat in a day on TikTok or Google if keto's right for us. Like, there's so many unrealistic expectations in diet culture, so make sure to log this because we're starting with good foods are foods that don't have toxic chemicals. Bad ones are foods that have processed crap with toxic junk, and you can only eat the good foods to be healthy. Eating bad foods often leads to guilt. What diet culture doesn't realize is all foods can fit in a person's diet, and the term healthy is different for everyone. But why listen to that when you can just make people feel guilty?
Oh, I'm being so bad? Isn't that kind of like a lot of bread?
A common statement in diet culture is carbs are bad and protein's good. The problem here is that labeling foods makes a lot of people tie their emotions to what they ate. If they ate a cookie, bread, or anything fattening, they think that all their progress is gone and they don't deserve food because they have no willpower. Like, this makes nutrition a lot more stressful. Like, there's so much conflicting advice on what foods are good and bad from different diets. Another thing people don't understand is that cutting out foods makes us miss important nutrients and makes it harder for our body to stay satisfied. For example, carbs are the main energy source for our bodies. Protein helps repair and build muscle, while also keeping someone fuller for longer. Both are very important for our body, and they taste amazing. So cutting out one of these necessary nutrients not only fucks up your mood, but also throws your body off balance. Like, depriving yourself of necessary nutrients can mess with concentration, make you more stressed and irritated, especially that one. It's the same thing with cravings. Whether it's chocolate, cookies, or whatever your body desperately wants, people feel ashamed of their cravings and tell themselves that they're bad if they eat it. Like, a lot of people will eat low-calorie alternatives or something completely different to try and curb it, but our body's not stupid. If it wants a giant spoonful of Nutella, it's gonna get it. What usually happens is people will load up on low-calorie foods to stop the craving, but end up eating what they wanted and a lot of extra food too. So they get trapped in this restrict binge cycle and have a side of guilt and shame. And this guilt affects themselves and their future actions. Diet culture math basically says any food you eat that's not leaves, plain chicken, or part of a detox cleanse will make you gain 200 pounds. And don't even think about a cheat day.
Cheat meal can ruin all of your progress.
I know you're thinking about peanut butter, but you better do those 100 push-ups to earn it. And that's what's so messed up about this. Like, diet culture only associates exercise with weight loss, when exercise is much more than that. Like, exercise is good for your mental health, it feels nice, and gives you something to do if you're bored. But diet culture doesn't understand this. Like, exercising and eating shouldn't have to be this stressful, yet some fitness influencers tell people that they have to exercise to earn their food and scare them into excessive hours in the gym just so they don't gain a pound. Even after all that exercise, they can't just eat whatever they want because it'll undo all the progress. Like, many diets encourage eating as little as possible. Whether it's skipping meals, cutting out foods, or counting calories, a lot of people restrict themselves to as little food as possible so they don't go over their calories. Even though a calorie deficit's fine, an extreme one isn't. Like, 1,200 calories is the absolute lowest someone should go, and that's still extreme and shouldn't be done often. Like, it's gotten to the point where I've heard some people have restricted fruit or only ate half a piece of gum because of this fear. Apparently eating apples is bad for you, which is ironic. And this restriction is further amplified by an obsession with calorie tracking. Here's the thing with tracking. I don't necessarily think apps like MyFitnessPal are bad by itself. In fact, it can be very helpful if a person doesn't eat enough or is trying to lose weight. But it becomes a problem when it's all a person can think about. Constantly worrying about how to stay under or hit their targets. Punishing themselves when they see a negative at the end of the day. Even the positive messages on the app can push some people the wrong way and make them spiral deeper into their obsession. When a person's constantly monitoring every bite and every calorie they eat and burn, it leads them to think that weight is the only thing that matters. And if the numbers aren't up to what they want, it's not good enough for them. It doesn't matter if it's gaining or losing weight. Diet culture and society in general associate health with weight. Like, look at Sierra Ann's channel. She's a little overweight, but eats balanced meals and does regular exercise, whereas her husband's thin and eats more foods that tend to have less nutrients and exercises less. Yet people in the comments believe Sierra's the unhealthy one, when she's literally recovering from an ED and is trying to love and accept herself. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. If you're fat, people immediately think you're unhealthy and say you're lying about what you eat. Like what happened with Lizzo. She's vegan and is plus sized, but people think because she's fat, she's not actually vegan and goes to McDonald's every day. Like, diet culture thrives on using weight as the only indicator of measuring health and doesn't consider medical conditions or past behaviors and experiences. And it also causes fear during the holidays and summer. Like, people worry about their weight the most during these times. They don't want to gain or lose too much weight before seeing their family at Christmas. They fear eating too much at Thanksgiving and never being able to lose the weight. They want to show off their abs or butt at the beach to attract people, because it makes them feel good about themselves and they feel accepted in society. And even though we're more accepting of body types and beauty standards now, a lot of people still use weight to define health, which still causes people to make body shaming comments on other people. No matter what we do, someone will always tell us our body sucks and that we have to fix it. body shaming isn't just about, oh, you're fat, lose weight, or you're too thin, gain weight. You know, people will give backhanded compliments like, oh, you've lost so much weight, you're so beautiful now. Like, this sounds like a compliment, but can imply that if a person didn't lose weight, they'd still be ugly. Thin people can't avoid backhanded compliments either. Like, someone might say, oh, you're so lucky you're so skinny. You must not eat anything. Like, this compliment implies that a person's thinness is solely associated with improper eating habits, when it could be another outside factor like genetics. It's not just about compliments. Like, gender expectations play a huge role too. You know, girls are always told to watch their weight and be toned, while boys are always told to be muscular and fit with a six-pack. Both genders also have to follow strict diets. You have to eat bland chicken and rice every meal. You have to ignore your cravings, and you have to set strict calorie limits. And if a person doesn't follow these rules,
You just have no willpower.
the thing is, you don't know what someone's going through. They could be suffering with medical conditions, a tragic event, or maybe they just don't want to conform to the unrealistic beauty standards. Things happen in our life and can affect our body. Like, we're all built different and should respect it. However, that's not taught a lot anymore, especially with the rise in children and teen dieting. Especially because these teens are in puberty, where weight change is normal. Following these rigid diets and pushing their body too much with exercise creates an unhealthy relationship with food. They'll either fear food and anything associated with it, or turn to food for comfort, and use it as a coping mechanism when they're stressed. This unhealthy relationship leads to a higher chance of that child or teen getting body dysmorphia and eating disorders, especially if they compare their body to others. Comparing yourself to others is the true evil in diet culture. It seems like everyone has it together, and you're the only one who couldn't figure your out. But what you don't know is that other people feel the same way. They wish to have your toned body while you wish to have their big butt. You're jealous of others, but they're jealous of you, and make snarky comments to cope with their pain and low self-worth caused by this endless cycle. Others are struggling to hide their pain and suffering just like you. They've created this cage for themselves, and no matter how hard they've tried, they've been dragged back and forced in you. It's a horrible pain, and it needs to end. I'm not a dietitian or expert in nutrition, but regardless of what your end goal is, diet culture is a very toxic one. No one should feel like they're forced to gain or lose weight to comply with our unrealistic beauty standards. I'm not saying don't take care of your body, nor am I encouraging obesity, but as long as your lifestyle is balanced, it doesn't matter what you look like or what you follow. You should feel proud of yourself and not stress about weight, food, or exercise. You're beautiful, and you know it.